All right, welcome. I'm Andrew Penny, the technical agronomist for the eastern part of southwest Iowa. We are here at the Atlantic Research Station, and we're out here looking at some corn on corn and going to compare emergence on some plants that appear to be a little bit ahead and some of those plants that may have had delayed emergence. Yeah. All right, so what we're looking at here is a field where we're definitely seeing some variable emergence. Walking the rows, we see we have some plants at V2 about to be V3, while we have other plants looks like they're in about the V1 stage. As you can see, we also have numerous skips where it would appear that seeds either leafed out underground or just failed to germinate properly. All right, so let's look at some plants from that field that we were just out in that had really variable emergence. So we've discussed some previous causes. Now let's talk about looking ahead. So what are we going to expect if we come to a field that has say you have a field that was split planted with two different hybrids and you see a difference in plant height. Let's say you see some variability within the plant within the row. The first thing you should be doing is digging the plant to check planting depth. And so as you can see here, we have a plant that's at about the V3 stage, and we have another plant that's at the V2 stage. But there's quite a bit of difference in plant size. And so I think you need to be out there discussing it and looking for these problems so that we know that as that seedling is transitioning to the nodal roots versus the seminal roots, you kind of set some expectations on where that field is going to be as far as looks and also development. And so I would say the best case scenario, we keep getting these timely rains that we've had over the last week, because if we do have some shallow planted seed, the best thing we can hope for is timely rain so that those nodal roots can establish. And if you do have even planting depth but variable emergence, we know that numerous factors as far as soil type and moisture conditions can impact that. But just know that if you are all at an even planting depth across a field, and we keep getting timely rains, at some point those plants will potentially even up. If you were to track those, you will see a difference in ear development and yield on those individual plants. But in a field like this where we're seeing a lot of variability with planting depth, if we do see some dry weather in the future, especially as these nodal roots begin to take over, there's the potential for some of these fields to, I'd say, turn a little bit uglier. And so just be aware of what you're looking at. Ask the right questions. Was there a starter fertilizer used? Was there spring applied anhydrous? Potential, insect feeding. Just be able to explain why we're seeing delayed development. All right, so here we have two more plants from the same field. Here we have a plant that is at V4. Here we have another plant that is at the V3 stage. And so looking at this one, we have a proper planting depth of 2 inches. Looking at this one, it's not quite as shallow as some of the other ones we looked at, but we're probably 1.5 inches, 1 3/4 inches to be pushing it. And so, I think another thing, as you're digging plants, make sure you look at the roots. Let those roots tell you a story. And so as we look at this plant, you can tell that when this was planted, there was some sidewall compaction that took place. And so looking at these seminal roots, you can kind of see how everything's angled and following that trench. Whereas we're looking at these roots, you can kind of tell they're starting to take a nice round shape that we like seeing. And so just one more thing to look out and be aware of. All right, so to sum up this conversation, I think we have a really good opportunity to be out in our customers' fields and setting expectations, for the next month and even, at harvest. It's better to be out explaining things now versus at harvest when we see a yield impact compared to another one of our products or our competitors, making excuses versus, explaining potential scenarios now. So take advantage of being able to go dig plants, look at variability, and ask the right questions, explain the causes, and know what you're looking at.